did a study in Switzerland with a person with AIDS taking Straf for years. It was a big success because the progression in him could be stopped. Unfortunately, we lost Gabriel to follow up. Here you see it is possible in the laboratory to analyze the CD4 helper T lymphocytes and to determine the number. Here you see a patient with AIDS not taking Straf, and the lymphocytes are down. On the other side, we have the values of Gabriel taking Straf, being AIDS positive, and he is not distinguishable from a normal, healthy person. Now, we could initiate a study with Straf in Nigeria. This is the state of Nigeria. This African state carries 10% of the worldwide burden of HIV infections. In the Nigerian Institute of Medical Research in Lagos, a clinical study was initiated by Dr. Nkiru Odunukwe. Finally, 25 HIV-positive patients were included in the study. The study was an open-label, intra-individual control study. It was 24 weeks. We assessed quality of life, nutritional health, body mass index and appetite, hematological parameters, red blood cells, hemoglobin and platelets, immunological parameters, total lymphocytes, helper T lymphocytes. And on the other hand, we looked at the retroviral effect. That means we looked how the virus when it goes down in the blood of the affected patient. Mean age was 31 years, male to female ratio 36% to 64%. The dosage was 2 tablets 3 times a day. And now to quality of life. After 12 weeks, improved decisively, and also at 24 weeks we had an increase in quality of life. Same for body mass index and appetite. Erythrocyte went up during the first 12 weeks, but at 24 weeks still they were above baseline. Same thing, at 12 weeks hemoglobin was higher and a little bit less at 24 weeks. Results that we cannot explain is that platelets, the cells responsible for blood coagulation, went down during the study. Immunological parameters, total lymphocytes went decisively up at 12 weeks and a little bit up at 24 weeks. CD4 helper lymphocytes same, and the antiretroviral was marked at 12 weeks, but was lost at 24 weeks. Here you see the body mass index. Body mass index means health, quality of life, and gaining weight. We see a steady increase from baseline to 24 weeks. Red blood cells shows a little bit different picture. We have baseline values. They go up markedly at 12 weeks, but they go down. What we heard is that people, they felt good after the patients felt good after 12 weeks, but then they tried to stretch their supply of tablets, and therefore we think these values go down. Same thing in helper T lymphocytes. We see the same problem. Fortunately, even at 24 weeks, non-compliant with the dosage, we find a value that's above the baseline. We are very proud that during the whole study, not a single adverse event could be noted. Thank you very much for your attention. Live? Yeah. Thank you. Life and biology are very, very complicated. As you see on this chart, these are the metabolic pathways and pathways within one single cell in our body. But I think we all know a solution to this problem, and this is
thank you very much for your very interesting presentation you gave us this morning as first lecture. It was great to hear you. And Dr. Joller likes to get twice applause. This is why he first. Thank you. But for me, the most important or the most impressive slide was the last one, where you see all these pathways of our body. And you see how many systems in our body help us to remain healthy, or how small it may be an interruption that we get ill. And this is the advantage of Strath, that we strengthen all the body. Now Dr. Joller is ready to answer your questions. Please ask him. He knows everything about biostrath and about all the research. So who starts the question session? Yes, please.
Dr. Peter, in the ADHD study, showed.
Dr. Peter, in your ADHD study, there was a slide which showed a negative part, only a tiny part.
yes.
Is that negative interpreted as, in those children, no improvement, or were they taking retrograde steps?
As I showed you, I hope you understand me. As I showed you, 12 of the 18 children improved on the squat. And these 6 children sometimes had
Worse results in the computer test, and therefore these 14 negative results. They were at the beginning, they were more attentive, they concentrated more on the computer, and therefore we have negative results. Other questions? You had a question. Dr. Huber.
You told about the HIV patients in Nigeria and ineligible for the harsh therapy. What would that mean? Didn't they have any drugs?
They were not treated by the so-called highly effective antiretroviral therapy, and because their CD4 lymphocytes were higher than it is. Well, there is a limit where you start in Nigeria with the very expensive heart treatment. And therefore, if you are HIV positive, if you have AIDS, but you still have CD4 positive helper T lymphocyte above 500, then you are not eligible for heart